There are tons of pros to buying any new Range Rover, but with that there are also tons of cons that come along with buying any new car. So which is actually better when it comes down to it? Well, today I've decided that this is the topic that I'm going to over-explain to you in a probably excessively long video that really could be 3 minutes long. So let's look at the pros and cons of buying new versus used when it comes to Land Rovers. I'm feeling positive today, so let's talk about the pros of buying one new first. Obviously, and more important than anything, is the warranty and the service plan that can come along with buying a new Land Rover. This alone means that you'll have a warranty to cover your ass when things do inevitably go wrong. Personally, I would stay away from the first model year of any new model that comes out, and really this doesn't matter if it's BMW, Land Rover, Toyota, or really anyone else. The first model year of any car is going to have issues that haven't really been worked out yet, so if you can wait until the next model year comes out. That way, most of those problems will be worked out. Land Rover are much better at getting the problems worked out after the first couple of years. Later models really don't have the same consistent common issues. Even with having a warranty, dealing with the same small problem over and over again, or different small problems over and over again, gets extremely annoying, and at the end of the day, it's just a waste of time. There's also the option of the service plan. Now, new Land Rovers come with an option to have a service plan. If you have the option for the service plan, absolutely do it. I know it seems like an upsell when you're actually buying the car, but when it comes down to it, having the service already prepaid for means that you're more likely to take it in and get it serviced on time, and more important than anything, it will be taken care of at that time. So it's prepaid for, and all you really have to do is show up, get the car serviced, then you have it for your records, and you go home. On top of that, you're also driving in the newest of the new and the best of the best. And while this makes a difference to some people and it doesn't make a difference to other people, at the end of the day, it is still something to mention. There are cons, and depreciation hits extremely hard on new Land Rovers. While they may depreciate 35% in the first couple of years like any normal Toyota or Mazda, when you're spending $100,000 and it depreciates 35%, it's a much bigger hit to the wallet than it would be if it was a $30,000 car and depreciated 30%. Depreciation is something you have to deal with no matter what, and if you have the means to buy one new, odds are if you're paying for it in cash, it really makes no difference. But it is something to keep in mind if you plan on financing the car, because there's nothing worse than being ready to get rid of a car and being so upside down on the loan that you have to put an astronomical amount of money down to make up the difference. When it comes to Land Rovers and buying one new, depreciation can be harsh. They've dealt with it. And a vote. Another thing that you'll run into with buying a brand new one is that some of the problems haven't been worked out yet. Now, if it's under warranty and it has a service plan, it really doesn't matter. But it can still be inconvenient to have to take the car in to get small things fixed over and over again. And then there's the topic of value. Now, value for your money is something that is totally 100% perceived by you. If you feel like you've got your money's worth out of something, then by all means, it's been valuable to you. And there's no denying that Range Rovers and Land Rovers are really worth the money that they are new. But when you take into consideration that a couple of years later, you can get it for 30, even up to 50% off for the same car with the same spec, and everything is the same, just a few thousand miles on it, then you really have to start to look and see where that value is actually coming from. Because for instance, if you buy a brand new Range Rover for $100,000 and then 2 years later it's worth $75,000, then someone comes and buys that same exact car from you for $75,000, and at that point, they're probably getting just as much of enjoyment out of it. Sure, it's not the newest of the new, but if they've not had a redesign yet, nobody's gonna know. Now, I'm not advocating that you always have to buy new or you always have to buy used, but it is something to think about if you're going to get that extra $35,000 of value out of the car for 2 years. Sure, you're driving around in the newest of the new and the best of the best, but a $35,000 premium for one that's brand new is still quite the premium. And then even after that, you have to consider the fact that this one was about $94,000 brand new, and I bought it for $24,000 5 years later. Which brings us into the natural transition of CPO. Now, one of the biggest benefits to certified pre-owned is that you still get the warranty, and it's still, for the most part, near a brand new car. Now obviously it will have quite a few miles on it if it's CPO'd, but it's not going to be anything that's ridiculously high in mileage. So with the CPO'd car, you get the warranty, but you also get one of the best parts about it: the depreciation. By this point, it's already had its initial hit of depreciation, and the first owner has taken their hit, and now it's time for the second owner to take their hit, which would be you. You can obviously expect for it to depreciate more from there, and once the warranty expires, it's going to have a huge, roughly 20% depreciation hit even after that. However, with the right money management, you can really mitigate that depreciation very well if you just pay attention to what's going on. Essentially though, if you're financing it and you put enough money down, that depreciation is not going to hit you too hard, and you can also get rid of it before the warranty is up. That way you don't take that depreciation hit yourself. People will, not surprisingly, pay a huge premium for even a used Land Rover with a certified pre-owned warranty left, even for just another year. Overall, if my opinion means anything to you, certified pre-owned is really the way to go, because with a certified pre-owned car, you're going to have the warranty, the first initial depreciation is going to be taken care of, and you will have the peace of mind of knowing that when something goes wrong, inevitably, it's taken care of. On top of that, dealerships are extremely incentivized to sell certified pre-owned cars. It's not something that too many people talk about, but if you look at it, dealerships actually have a lot of incentive to sell you a certified pre-owned Land Rover or whatever dealership they are. So really, if you're looking at a new or used Land Rover and you are a little concerned with the depreciation but still want to be able to drive something newer, certified pre-owned is really the way to go. I talked about certified pre-owned for really one reason. It was a good transition in between new or brand new and used. Really, with certified pre-owned, you get the best of both worlds, and here, that's more important than anything. So now let's talk pros and cons of buying used. Now, starting with the pros of buying used, you're going to have to put down the least amount of money and you're going to be paying the least amount. So with certified pre-owned cars, they still have a bit of a premium on them. They've taken that initial depreciation hit, but where they still have a warranty and they're certified by Land Rover, you're going to still pay a small premium for that, which, don't get me wrong, it's well worth it. But then you start looking at a model that's a few years older. For example, the L322. At this point, I don't think you could even consider getting an L322 Range Rover certified pre-owned. Really, that's because no Land Rover dealership is stupid enough to do that, but more importantly, it's too old and most of them have way too many miles. So with that, it's already had most of that depreciation taken care of. So you can pick them up in the teens to low 20s, but still expect to have some depreciation. But obviously it's going to be a much smaller number. So if you buy one for $20,000 and then in 3 years it's worth $10,000, you've lost $10,000, but really it doesn't make that big of a deal. I would much prefer to lose that $10,000 than to lose $50,000 buying one new and then selling it 4 years later. Another benefit to buying used is, for the most part, it's gone through its initial warranty and it's gone through its CPO'd warranty if it had one. And with that, most of the problems that are going to come up have been fixed, at least in lower mileage cars. Now, if it's higher mileage, obviously the higher it gets in the mileage, the more problems that are going to come up, and obviously the timing chain probably won't be covered under any certified pre-owned warranty because they happen much later down the line. By that point, most of the cars have already had their warranties expire anyway, so it's not really going to save you anything there. But generally, most of the common problems will have been taken care of through the previous warranties, so there is actually a benefit to buying it used, even if it doesn't have a warranty with it. Most of the stuff will have been taken care of, and then you just get to deal with what's after that, which can add up quickly. Regardless though, buying a Land Rover is never cheap. Doesn't matter if it's new, used, or certified pre-owned. You're going to pay up somewhere, whether it's with repairs or whether it's with the warranty or whether it's buying it brand new with the service plan. But those are really the two biggest pros to buying used. Most of the problems are taken care of and most of the depreciation has gone away. But there are some cons. And as I mentioned earlier, with the warranty being up, nothing's covered. You may be able to find a third-party warranty, but as we've discussed in other videos, most third-party warranties aren't even worth your time. With used Range Rovers being notorious for, well, breaking, there's really not too many companies out there who are going to give you a good warranty that's worth your money at a fair price. But there is also the option of CarMax. Now, CarMax warranties have changed over the years, but for the most part, they are still pretty solid warranties. They're near certified pre-owned level. Ultimately though, if you're getting a warranty, just read through the warranty and make sure it covers the things that you want to be covered on, because if you end up getting a warranty that says it's comprehensive and covers absolutely everything, but then you read the fine print and it says it really only covers engine catastrophic failure and drivetrain failure, then it's really not worth your money anyway. Well, actually, it might be for these. Just a thought. So while you're spending the least amount of money buying the used Land Rover without a warranty, you are taking some of the biggest amount of risk, because anything that happens is 100% on you. Now, it's been proof this year that they're actually not catastrophic and not absolutely dreadful and horrible without a warranty. In fact, in 2018 I did one oil change, and now it's time for another oil change, and I changed the tires and that was it. Obviously, if you keep up on the regular service, the diff, the transfer case, all of that fun little stuff, which we'll talk about in another video, you're going to be fine. For the most part, if you keep up with everything and take care of it, you're not going to have too many problems. Small stuff might break here and there, and you might have some quality issues over the next few years, but overall, buying used isn't too horrible if you don't have a warranty. But in any case, if you're looking one that's just a few years old, or you're looking at one that's new, I would highly recommend looking at the certified pre-owned warranties, because really, it's the best of both worlds. So with all of that said, I would really recommend just looking at certified pre-owned models if you're looking for one that's used, but you still want one with a warranty. And as a note, I do expect a kickback for all of the certified pre-owned Land Rovers that I sell Land Rover, and I'll be expecting my check next week. He wins. It's absolutely beautiful. Not gonna lie, this is kind of creepy. That's beautiful though.